Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Neil, and I'm so happy to have you. Thanks for that click. Thanks for taking the time out. All right. So, this series of videos, we'll be looking at something very important. We're going to be looking at the effects of the quarantine and the whole lockdown and the online schooling. Is it having any effects, or what type of effects is it having? I was trying to get everything into one video because I have a whole lot of ideas and stuff that we need to delve into, but it's not going to work. So it's going to be a series of videos, and this first video is with Mr. Marco Bromfield. He's a physical education teacher. It's excellent video, very educating, and you can learn a lot from it. All right, so thanks for coming in, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Boom. All right, guys, here we are with Mr. Bromfield. Thank you so much for taking out your time to what I deem to be a worthy cause, and well, of you as well, because you're here. Really
Yes,
appreciate the time that you've given to us. Thank you very much.
thank you, thank you.
All right, so you know that I was talking about my thing as wellness, but there's a particular thing that we're trying to get at, and is the wellness of our children in particular this time, and the
Yes.
difference now in being at home, the online schooling. Is it good? Is it bad? You understand? We're trying to get to the meat of the matter, and that's why I have you for your expertise today. But just to give me some
Okay.
feedback, and the viewers some feedback, if you could just give me a little background on yourself.
Okay. So my name is Marco Bromfield. I am a physical education teacher at the Hope Valley Experimental School. I am responsible for teaching the entire school, which is from our basic department all the way up to grade 6. Also, we have a special education unit, which have students who are differently able. So they are also a part of my responsibility. I'm also responsible for coaching the entire school in the various activities, whether it be track and field, football, netball, cricket. So it's a lot of work there that I'm responsible for. And I also work part time with the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, where I'm a CPR and first aid instructor there. I
Wow,
teach American
interesting,
I
interesting.
teach American Heart Association CPR and first aid courses and advanced courses as well.
So I'm going to have you back one day. We'll talk about the CPR, because I did my
Yes.
certification at St. John's, and I don't think a lot of
Okay.
people recognize how important it is to have a little CPR training. So that have to do with
True.
wellness again. So you're going to have to join me again, and we talk about that some more.
No problem. No problem.
All right.
So
So
I'm a
Mr.
graduate of
Brumfield,
the
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Right. So I'm a graduate of the GC Foster College, where most of our top coaches and athletes. And I'm also at the Michael University completing my degree in science education to teach chemistry and biology as well.
Beautiful, lovely, lovely. So let me ask you then now, as a teacher, are teachers just teachers? When you get in
Teachers
that
are
class
so
or on the play field, is are you just a teacher? Is the role just defined by that alone, or are you playing other roles there?
there are so much facets to being a teacher that many persons are not even aware of. And I realize that many times my students will call me daddy, because of the type of that they get from you.
Right.
When they're sad, when they are depressed, when they are happy, you're there throughout every experience that they have. So aside from just being there to impart knowledge and to be a facilitator of their education, you find that you take up much more roles than just teaching. You end up being a parent. You end up being a provider for them. Many times they don't have lunch money because of financial situations at home. They might get into fights. They might, have persons bullying them, and you find that you have to be there throughout all these aspects where the parents are not available with them as much. So you find that as teachers, you have to pick up the mantle and just do your job, which involves all these things.
All facets, the multifaceted role you guys playing there.
Definitely,
Excellent,
definitely.
excellent. Which means that you have an insight to the child's development, the child's life, the development of them personality, the characters. You have an inside development, sometimes more than even the parent.
Yes, because if you should actually check the amount of hours that a child spends at school with teachers compared to being at home with parents, it does actually have much more time to spend with the teacher. And you find that many of the behaviors that the child will develop during the school term is actually lost during the summer period. So when they come back, you have to reteach them, the values and attitudes of being a proper citizen. So they learn all these things from the school and from the teachers that they are around.
So okay, you're playing this multifaceted role.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, you and all the other teachers out there. Along comes this thing called COVID. And initially, I remember when I went for my son when they announced that schools will be closing, and when I
Yes.
was parked outside, when they announced on the loudspeaker that listen, you guys going home, it was a big cheer. You
Yes.
understand? I guess in hindsight, no, we don't know if we should have been cheering or they should have been cheering at that time. What was the initial reaction you saw with the kids when COVID and the lockdowns were announced?
Well, just before the news came out, children had a lot of questions. Many times we were at PE classes, and because of all the information that they were getting from the news, different media from within their communities, from their peers, they were confused. They asked a lot of questions. Some of them were scared because when they heard that it was up by university and our school is just below university, they were
Get
saying,
you.
"So, sir, we reached down here now. Sir, when get in our community, sir, it can kill you." And they hear all these
Wow.
things. So we had to continue to reassure them at that time, to not be scared, just follow the guidelines. And from then, and even before COVID, we had taught them about proper hygiene and washing hands and so on. But children will be children,
Yeah.
and many times they don't follow those protocols, right? But prior to COVID, they were all scared. As usual, children are always happy to hear that no school, right? Initially, but I tell you that changed later on. But they were mostly scared, confused, and they just had a lot of questions regarding COVID, and they didn't
So there's a
know.
lot of uncertainty. I mean, even for us adults. So fear, as you mentioned, concern. Wow. All right. So the introduction now to the online schooling. Were you prepared, and how prepared were the children?
Personally, I have great experience using technology. And prior to that, the school had started to give teachers who did not have experience some hands-on teaching experience with the computers. What you find is that they had always thought about tablets in schools prior to COVID, and they had sent teachers on training. So you have some teachers that have been in the system for a long time, and they don't know
Right.
how to use
Right.
in a Word document. So they were getting up to speed with that. Luckily for me, I had some skills on that. And, I was a bit new to using the Zoom platform and Google Classroom because that wasn't so profound as yet. But it took some time, and we had training sessions provided by the Jamaica Teaching Council, which was very, very helpful, and it
Wow.
brought us up to speed very quickly. Students, however, I don't think they were prepared. Um, them, I can't speak from my primary school. We have computers, but we don't have computer classes, right? Many of the children at our school are from a lower social economic background. So
Right.
many of them have devices. Some of them don't have internet, right? So it was a shell shock for most of them. Shell shock. They were not prepared for all of this.
So there was not
And
a computer class in on the curriculum prior to this.
no, not at our school. And
Okay.
that's had some computers, but they were very outdated and
Get
needed
you.
some upgrades. So funding was the issue, but they were not ready. They were not technology ready for
They
this
were
new
blindsided then by COVID.
by COVID just thrown on them
Yeah.
so suddenly. So to learn on the fly, and it was rough financially on the parents and on the students. They were not ready for the technology.
Wow. Wow. So, all right. So let's look into now the differences that you found now with the approach, the face-to-face approach with teaching children, and as
Right.
opposed to the online approach. What's the differences you note right off the bat? Well,
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Well, initially, classes didn't start immediately when school was closed. Our region, and our region, I think, is Region One. Our region coordinator from the Ministry of Education was very concerned about the children and their wellness. So she invited myself and teachers from the Mona Primary School to do exercise sessions in the afternoons. So prior to
This
classes
is online
online, yes. So prior
exercise
to
sessions online.
sessions online, yeah, man.
Wow. Tell me more about
Yes.
that.
So just before classes started, every afternoon, I logged in at 3. We sent out information to all who have devices, all who have internet connection. And we decided that, look here, we're going to keep our children fit because we think it's very important for them to be healthy because many of them, they were already active. They were already in training for different competitions. Football and netball had just ended. They were looking forward to track and field season. So they were in high gear of training. And many of them came out full, full Zoom sessions in the afternoons. So I had to keep my laptop and put it outside because I didn't have enough space inside my living room
So
to do that.
this is just average exercises, or this is sports specific type of exercises?
Average, just average. We invited all students from both Hope Valley and Mona Primary School,
Wow.
and we invited them out to just come in the afternoons, and we worked out for about an hour, and we had
Wow.
something.
Wow. That is excellent. It's the first I'm hearing about that being done. That is
Yeah, man.
that is excellent, Mr. Bromfield. That is an excellent approach.
Yeah,
So
man.
just stick a pin though and make we highlight, or you can highlight for me. Since we went on to doing the physical education online. But before that,
Yes.
how important is the physical education within a child's development?
What you find is it is critically important. Most of the motor skills that somebody develops is developed during these age the primary ages, right? You start from your basic school, so we teach them about locomotor skills, right, and non-locomotor skills. Many of them, they don't catch, they can't throw, they don't even walk, jump, or run properly. And all
Wow.
these things in a structured curriculum provided by the Ministry of Education, which we have to teach at different grade levels. So what you find is that a child who, as we Jamaicans would call it, baffanded, right? They will say the child can't catch or can't throw. We have to teach them how to catch properly, how to run, how to roll. So we give them gymnastics, we give them dance. All these things are involved in physical education. It's critically important because it's not only in sport development, but it's actually your overall wellness. So in our curriculum, it is very important. It helps them both their bodies and their mind because, as the GC Foster motto says, a sound mind in a sound body. You find that if a child exercises well, they have more energy, they have more blood circulating throughout their bodies, and to provide their brain and keep them healthy generally to learn.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. So you think that this model now should be duplicated across maybe this whole school system where that is the actual part where physical education classes should be held even within this online space, and or is it even more so important now that the kids are not moving around?
Let me tell you, it is so important. In the small period of time that they had a resumption of school, I was shocked. Many of the students I could not recognize. They transformed. I'm telling you, they transformed. The amount of weight gain that these students have had over that small period of time was frightening. And it just goes to show that we know that the parents are gone to work and the child is just there watching TV and eating. They have become couch potatoes basically. They're just sitting down, eating, watching TV, playing video game. They're not doing anything physical, and it affects them. So you have teenage and childhood obesity coming on at a tender age, right? And this is serious condition because weight gain is very hard to lose once you start gaining,
So
right?
those
And they
who
have
are fortunate enough to have the PE still going on as a part of the curriculum while they're online, we as
yes,
parents, we shouldn't look on the PE class as, oh, a PE, you know, have to sign on for that particular class.
and
We
you
should look
find
on
that
it as an important just as the other academic classes.
yes, and that's what we that and that is very important. And the initial stages, we invited parents to our training sessions, and it was so fun. You could see the parents working up a sweat with their child, and they're creating that bond, right, while being physically fit at the same time. So
I
it's
saw it creating
much
some family time as well. Excellent,
family
excellent.
time
That
as
is,
well. So that was really good. But you find that many of the parents, because it's been so long, they have dropped off a form, right?
yeah,
Many of them have, the interest has gone down.
weighing a bit
And,
because, yeah,
yeah, and you find that the children, they keep calling me and say, sir, when school are open back? Because imagine, initially they were celebrating. Everybody was
uh,
celebrating, yay, holiday, no school.
yeah.
And now
And now
children are
everybody
basically,
want to go back to school, right?
yes, they're crying. They're basically crying,
So, all
wanting to
right.
come
So,
back.
what would you say then? So, I guess we've identified a few disadvantages. So, all right, let me ask you this. Give me the advantages and disadvantages of both the online. I mean, I guess obviously face to face was the more ideal situation. So, in terms of online, we know that there's a lot of disadvantages. They're not moving around. They're putting on weight. They become sedentary. Um,
Right.
but are there any advantages you see to the online schooling?
Um, Advantages. I think it allows everybody to participate, and sometimes children may be shy, right? You find that even in face-to-face classes, if they don't do something well, I think this is an advantage. I'm not sure. They
Yeah,
can turn off the camera and do
yeah,
the activity in their own way without anybody. Because if somebody is beside you at school and you're trying to do a certain thing and you're not doing it properly, naturally you're going to find that child will want to trouble you. Although you discourage it as a teacher, you'll find that happening. But
right.
in your own space, right, in your own home, right, with nobody around to trouble you or laugh at you saying that you're not doing properly, you can express yourself freely, right? And I think that can be seen as an advantage.
I'm glad
Um,
you dug out that one. I'm
yeah,
glad you're
that's
able
it.
to dig out one because
Because I was
it seems like
searching
all
for
the
one and I said,
advantages is
how
really
do
to
I
go
that
back face to
possible?
face. But
Yeah,
that's an integral point there that they may be they feel more comfortable in them space and they don't feel as pressured and thing. Excellent.
but
And few disadvantages, of course.
disadvantages, there are so many. uh, you as a teacher, you'll be able to identify problems or improper motor skills that the child will do. You actually could make the place safe. So safety is also an issue where you can move away things inside the auditorium or out on the play field to ensure that the child doesn't get injured. In their own home, they may not be proper safety practices while doing their exercises. Improper gear, improper hydration throughout their exercise, all those things may not be done. So being online, you don't have that control over everything that they do
Yeah.
compared to face. So that is definitely a disadvantage. Also, if a child does get injured during something, you are not there to render first aid to
Get
them
it.
because in during classes, a child might twist their ankle or so on. You can grab your ice pack and you can ice the ear or so on until the nurse comes. But when they're at home and if mommy or daddy not there or no family member not there, they're basically on their own, which is not really not an advantage at all.
So, in your opinion, I mean, I know you're not a guidance counselor or psychologist, but in your
Right.
opinion, do you see this lockdown and having to stay home and the online schooling? Do you see it having any psychological effects on the children? And I guess you
Um,
can speak to the physical effects as well, but Do you, in your
Right.
opinion, you see it having any like psychological effects on the children? Should we be worried?
I think we should be very, very concerned. Um, Humans are definitely social beings, and children in the sense that they make friends so easily, right? They'll see somebody and just walk and talk to them compared to an adult. We have learned so many things. We don't walk and talk to anybody. So they have the social part of their whole development is actually being affected severely by COVID. You find that many of them they miss their friends. They get very depressed. So depression also comes in to play. Many of them they are sad, they're always crying. Many times they'll call you and say, "Sir, I miss school," and they'll cry, or they'll
Wow.
tell you that, yeah, man, they call you all the time. Many times, all six, seven of them will call you on WhatsApp group call. All of the netballers will call you, all of the footballers
Wow.
will call you, all the cricketers will call you and say, "Sir, this and that," and because they miss that social
Interaction and the socialization.
at school. And many times you find that it affects them. It affects them. They are very depressed. So depression may be an issue that will be affecting their development. And you might see it play out in their behavior. They may get
The
more
behavior.
aggressive at home, get more, don't want to do anything. They just lock up in their room or don't want to talk to anybody, or they get more aggressive or something.
Seclusive or
Right. They start to
mm,
shout in the house and stuff like that. And these may be effects of the lockdown and the COVID.
mm. All right, so let's get out of the doom and gloom and we could try get to some solutions. Because
Yeah.
if it is what it is, I mean, we are, well, you guys and we as parents as well who are charged with the care of these children. We're going to have to do the best that we can do in the situation so they come out as best or as least ill affected as possible.
Yeah.
So, all right, first of all, at home now. So those of the watcher viewers now who may not have their child involved in a online PE program, then what can they do to keep the kids active at home?
All right. Recommendations as parents. I know that many times parents will say they're busy or they're tired, but just getting up with your child either in the morning or in the afternoon and getting some music on and just dancing with your child, having some fun with them, sweeping, right, cleaning up the house. Let it be some family time that you use to create that bond and get some physical activity going, right? Get your heart rate up, get a little sweat going, and it can do wonders for them. I think that there are many areas that we can look into. Parents can, get up and do a little walk around the community with your child. My son and I, we get up and I'll just get the ball and go over the play field and we just go over there and play together for about an hour and come back in. We don't need any crowd, we don't need anybody beside us. When he's home with me, I know I will play some music and we'll dust down the place and we'll sweep out the house and we'll have fun.
So you're spending
So
time together while you're moving. You
while you're
still
keeping
not
up.
just excellent.
Right. There are many ways that we can do it. Let's not have them sleeping in bed until 9, 10 o'clock. Get them up, get them moving.
Say that again, because I have that issue, and I'm sure a lot of other parents having that issue. The
Yeah,
the bedtimes and the sleeping and you know
yeah, many children you find that they are now getting up at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And normally they're up by 5 o'clock, right? And people who are productive are up early. They're ready for the day, right? So you want to get them up early, right? Have them do small chores. Like if I said to them, all right. So when you get up in the morning, first thing you wash your face, you brush your teeth, sweep off the veranda, right? Or you wash up the dishes, or you sweep up the front of the yard. Those things that used to happen in the past, we have to bring them back because I know that many persons, such as myself, maybe you as well,
yes,
um, parents used to send you out to sweep up the front of the yard
yes,
early,
yes, yes,
you
yes.
know. So those little things we have to get them up again, get them moving because it is having a severe impact on their health, and we're not going to see it now, but we will see it later on.
I'm just wondering, in your school, do children have access to like guidance counselor if they're having issues, or is that a part of the curriculum where daily they have a session with the guidance counselor, or if they have a problem, how does it work?
All right. So my school, we have two guidance counselors, and every class on the curriculum has an hour for to see the guidance counselor. So once every week, a child is does have access to a guidance class. If
Excellent.
there are problems outside of the class time, the guidance counselor makes themselves available. You can call them and get, information. You can speak to them and they can help you if you're feeling any of those effects of COVID or any other problem that you may have that the guidance counselor is able to help. So our school does provide access and an avenue for students to reach out to the
And the,
guidance
the
counselor.
parents have that same access towards the guide counselor.
Yes,
I'm not
definitely.
like, boy, I'm having trouble with the child. He's behaving differently since the lockdown. Can I, as a parent, now call or get contact with the guidance counselor for help in the situation?
Yes, and what I can say is that, boy, kudos to the guidance counselors at our school. They have been doing so much work since COVID. And maybe they've been doing it before, but they have been given additional roles to do. You find them at the gate, right? Doing guiding parents who don't have any tablets, they have to be on their feet much more now, trying to source tablets, trying to help them get ready. If they're having problems as well, they can talk to the guidance counselors. They have to go into the communities, keeping the social distance and talk to them and give them advice, and they are so much more involved with COVID because they have been given much more to do now since the pandemic.
Mm. Well, Mr. Bromfield, this is a real serious topic. We really appreciate you coming and sharing and imparting with us. Of course, is there anything that you finally want to say? Anybody want to big up any? If you want to show your handles, any suggestions, floor is yours.
All right, so I like to say a big up to the entire Hope Valley Experimental School body, teachers, parents, students, and the entire community of Augustown and Hope Flats and all the surrounding areas. People in Portmore as well, to Techmax Sports Academy ballers. I miss you. Can't wait for football Starbucks for us to continue our academy. you know. And a big up to my son Luke. I do hope we can get to see this as well. And just everybody stay safe, follow the guidelines, and we'll get through this together. Let's just hold out and just keep active throughout this pandemic until it's all over.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Bromfield. Thank you
No
so much. We
problem.
really appreciate it. Hey guys, I'm so glad that you stayed to the end of the video. Really appreciate it. Remember to like, subscribe, and share for more content. We're going to have more in the series, so you can look forward to hearing from our kids. You're going to hear from actual psychologists. Just a lot of information and content that will add value to this whole situation. Once again, thank you for dropping by. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Boom. I'm out.